Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to do something a little bit different. I also apologize in advance. I am at the tail end of a cold right now, so I do sound a little weird, but I am on the mend. I'm feeling a little bit better. So this video is going to be more of a vlog style, and we're going to enter a new realm here and go on a little journey. Again, brought to you by Vevor. They sent me a faceting machine for cutting stones, which is something that I have been avoiding for pretty much my entire jewelry career. Since I was in college and ever since, I've just been absolutely terrified of stones, of breaking grandma's antique. I don't want to break anything. Stones cost money. You chip it, well, might as well just toss it in the garbage. So that idea just terrifies me. Now that said, just because I don't really like stones and cutting stone, and I've never cut a stone, doesn't mean I don't know how to set stones, or at least I don't know the theory behind setting stones, which is kind of ironic because I design and I produce all of those stone setting practice rings that you may have seen on pepetools.com. And of course, we have them on our own website as well. We carry more variety, but the more mainstream stuff, Pepe Tools orders as well. As I said, Vevor has sent over a machine. We're going to learn how to cut our own stones, and we're going to go on a little journey together because this is not something that I am an expert in. This is a video that you should not be referring to necessarily as educational for the sake of lapidary, but we are going to be looking at the machine. We're going to go over everything I've learned regarding the stuff that you need to do this, because unfortunately Vevor cannot provide you with every single thing you're going to need to do faceting in one box for under $300. There's a lot to it, but it's a great start. And yeah, so we're going to go on a little journey together. And this will be a multi-video series, so make sure you get subscribed so you don't miss out if you're interested in learning about faceting. Now, my undertaking learning faceting is by no means, I'm not going to be an expert. That I guarantee. There are so many other people out there who are just dedicated to this, and they're doing so much better than I ever will, most likely. I'm just trying to do this as another tool in my toolbox. I've said that on many videos before, where I'm talking about like, oh, I want to do nano ceramic plating. It's really cool, but ultimately it's just a tool in my toolbox. I'm not going to be the nano ceramic plating guy. It's going to help me down the road doing unique designs. Ideally, what I'm kind of thinking to start is, I know it's very cheesy, would be to cut stones, for like the eyes of some character, big piece of earweight jewelry sculpture thing that I'm making. These would be one-of-a-kind things. I don't intend on producing them. Like whatever you see in front of you is what it will be. It's not going to be available with red eyes and blue eyes and diamond eyes and moissanite and all that other stuff. I'm not going to get into it. It's just to add value to what I'm already doing. So my approach to this whole endeavor is going to be very free or free form. I'm not really sure what term is best to describe it, but I'm not approaching this from an analytical standpoint. I don't want to be, cutting ideal, brilliant, round, faceted gems, because there's so many of those out there. You can buy them for pennies on the dollar. I don't really think we need any more of those things. And so to begin this journey, if you're already someone who does like lots of lapidary, I do apologize. I will be breaking rules. I'm just trying to have fun. This is something that is really key to me personally, is that trying to keep this profession, trying to keep this job for me fresh. I want to get back to that play-like state and learn and fail. And if you see something that I've done wrong, too bad. I really don't care. I'm having fun. That's the point. So something that one of the instructors, I wouldn't say professors, because my art school didn't really have professors. She told me, or she quoted, I'm not sure if it was actually her words. She said that as kids, we're all artists and we all want to be artists. But then as we grow up, we learn what good art is. And as we try to strive for that, it becomes less and less fun. So that's just going to be one of those things I have in my mind as I go through this process. So anyway, enough with the wishy-washy stuff. Let's open up this tool and get it set up so that we can hopefully get started, and we'll see just how much we can do with just the machine before we have to go spend any more money, ideally, and learn and see what we can get. So in the box is the 180 watt Vevor faceting machine. This is the higher end of the two versions that they offer, at least over here in North America. They might offer different ones elsewhere. The motor maxes out at just under 3,000 RPM. This case is really nice, actually. This is made of stainless steel, and I gotta say, looking at the corner here as a welder, I can see little welding issues. You know, little bits of porosity, little pits, things that aren't like a problem. It's just this is the natural welding process, and as you sand it back, some of those are revealed sometimes. This was done and this was done by hand, and this is stainless steel. In North America, you couldn't get someone to weld this for less than the cost of the whole damn machine. So that is impressive, just as a value proposition. Okay, everybody, this thing is, there's something else going on here. On the front of the stainless steel case is the power switch and speed dial, which are waterproofed. They have like this little rubber thing around them, which is good because of this water pump, which comes along with it. And then what we have here is called the mast. This is just a piece of steel that attaches to the top of the case. And then attaching to that is the handpiece, which has a manual protractor and a rosette indicator wheel. I believe this is a 96-point wheel specifically. They do make other wheels to do different geometries. They're all different sized teeth so that you can get different angles, basically. We will explore that in later videos because it's interesting. And there's a software that we're going to be looking at as well that will tell you which type of indicator wheel you need. Also with this kit, we only get one lap or diamond wheel, which is 600 grit. This is a little bit underwhelming. We're going to need a whole pile of diamond wheels to take any stone from a rough shape all the way up to the final polish. So I can't fault Vevor for this, that they only included one. It's fine. You're going to have a 600 grit lap, which is great. It's kind of in the middle of the pack, but there are other kits. And I actually did go ahead and buy myself a set of 9, which you can see right here. I have 9 of them plus the one. I have room for extra. And then I designed this 3D printed stand organizer case thing, which of course I will be giving to all of you guys for free down in the description below to download off of my printables. I designed this so that it could be printed on an i3 type printer, like a Core 1 or a Bamboo or something like that. You can just break it up in half, and then right along there's a seam, and you just kind of snap it together. So at the bottom of the handpiece, we have a collet, which attaches to the dops. I know this is a lot of strange, funny words. Just bear with me. So dops are what you attach the stones to. They're just like a little stick, basically. You get dops in various shapes and sizes, as you can see here. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's one that already has a stone attached to it that I've been working on. You get these 3 with the Vevor unit. This one is designed for cutting the table, which is the very top, the flat part of the stone. And this is at a 45-degree angle, I believe. Then we have this guy, which is just kind of angled, I guess, and designed for holding bigger stones, because it certainly won't work with this guy. If I was to put that in there like so, I would bury it, and then I'd have to chop off like all of that. So this is just a different type, but this one doesn't have anything on the top, it's just flat. Yeah, so you get these 3 styles of dops with the Vevor machine. You should get more. If you can find more dops on Vevor, by all means, add to cart. If not, go to Amazon. I think it's 34 of them for, I think it was $60 or something like that. Not so bad, and it comes with a little organizer. Again, I'll have an affiliate link down below. And that is pretty much it. It comes with the machine itself. What I want to note is that the water pump is separate from the main unit. You do have to plug that into its own plug. One of the issues I have found or heard of from some members in my Discord who also have this unit is that don't let that run dry. If you turn off your machine, it doesn't turn off the pump as well. So if you let that pump run out of water, it will burn itself out, and you'll have to get a new pump, which is very inconvenient. But also because it's an external pump, you don't have to worry too much. I know that a lot of the more professional units just have like a water dripping basin thing above it. It just gets fed by gravity. That's cool too, but that's not what we're been given with the Vevor machine. So, as I said before, I am not an expert in this, but I can already tell that we are going to need some more ancillary devices in which to even really get started. So, I went out of my way here and I went on to Thingiverse, Printables, Cults 3D, and I looked for cheap ways of getting some of this stuff because some of these tools are the simplest you could imagine. We'll take this one for example. I haven't actually completed it yet. This is This is for transferring DOPs. So what I need to do is find an M5 bolt that will slot into here. That will then hold this down, as you can see. The DOP goes on there, like so. We bolt that down. Take our other DOP, ideally not that big, and we'll clamp that down, and then we transfer it from one to the other. So I would heat this side, or however you get it off, uh, and we would glue on this side. And that will then transfer the stone from one to the next, keeping it perfectly in line on the DOPs, so that we can go from cutting what would be called the pavilion, the bottom, to the table when we have the top. And doing this is incredibly important. We can't even start cutting, or you shouldn't really start cutting until you have things like this on hand so that you can mount your stones, transfer your stones properly. This is a simple little thing that I found on Thingiverse. I'll have the link down in the description below. Then the next thing that I printed was this guy. You put the DOP in the bottom there. This adjusts up and down. I then have some polymer clay, but you can use like sticky tack or pretty much anything flexible, honestly, underneath the stone. If you're trying to, mount it to a certain place and it's kind of roly-poly, this will help you mount that down. And it gives it downward pressure so that if you're using something like super glue, which is what I'm using right now, but I will be getting DOP wax. Don't worry, I'm not a complete Neanderthal. I know what I should be getting. I just am cheap right now. This allows you to apply that downward pressure, allow that glue or the DOP wax, whatever you're using, to set up properly with a little bit of pressure on the stone so that it all comes out exactly the way you want it. Again, this is on Thingiverse. I'll have that link down in the description below. And then one of the last things that I recommend, but you might get if you just order more DOP, is a little organizer, little vertical thing. Hypothetically, you should just have all of these full of DOPs with little stones on them, and then you work your way, along, and you try to maintain a sense of organization here. So if you're working on, say, a 120 grit diamond lap, maybe you want to just do all 6 of them, all the shaping all at once. And then you only have to swap it to your next one, which is 240 grit, once. And you just work your way through. It's very economical that way. And in the end, you end up with however many you can possibly cut. In this case, it would be 10 DOPs. But it's not unheard of, I think, to have a wall of DOPs. You just spend a whole day, a whole 8 hours just working your way through every single stone, every single grid. And then lastly, you're going to need something to actually cut, a gemstone or rock or whatever it is you're going to be doing. For me, because I live next to the ocean, I am very lucky to have access to sea glass. So this is just glass, just whatever, some beer bottle chucked into the water and then sandblasted and tumbled and all sorts of things. I will look for other things. Definitely check out, again, Turtles Horde, Gems of Science, because they've got all those like lab rejects, laser garnet. I think they're called YAG or something like that. There's all sorts of colors and bi-colors, and they glow in the dark, and who knows what else. It's crazy how much stuff they have, and you'd be shocked at how cheap it is. I'm looking at this. Some of it's like $60 for like a kilo of chunks, and it's like, oh, neat. I would love to have that. This looks neat, but I'm going to be learning on this to start. But when I get down the road and I want to have a rock of more value, more substance, maybe a client custom orders something, cool. Then I know where to go, and we'll definitely be able to explore down the road. But I'm going to be learning on glass. So I have spent some time cutting on this machine, and this is my thing. I have cut this little baguette thing. I don't know what the exact baguette math is. I just kind of played with the protractor and made it all eyeballed and 45 degrees and stuff. Anyway, this is my thing, and unfortunately, this is the end of this video and well, my thing for now because I have to go buy more shit to get this just transferred over, as we already talked about on my little thingy. I have no more DOPS in which to transfer over, and the cold has just forced me to take a shot of NyQuil. So I am very much done with this video for now, but we will resume very, very shortly. Make sure you get subscribed again so that you don't miss out on the upcoming blunder, possibly, that will be the next video. On my shopping list is going to be more DOP wax. I know there's different colors of DOP wax. I'm going to go for red, which seems to be a generally good option. I also found green, but that one seems to be very soft. If I could get brown or black, I would get those ones because they seem to be more designed for faceting. They're very hard. But I found red, so I'm going to get red DOP wax. I'm also going to buy a bunch more DOPs so that I can transfer this over. I'm also, before I do that though, before I transfer, I also need to get more polishing laps, specifically copper laps, because you use the copper laps and a mixture of diamond paste. They don't really make the diamond plated laps anymore, or they don't go up that high. Maybe, I'm not really sure, honestly. Maybe they do. I'll look into that. But diamond paste seems to be the way that people are doing it. So we'll use we'll get some copper laps and some diamond paste in, I believe it is 6,000, 15,000, and 30,000. And I bet you there's like 60,000 and 120,000, keeps going up, depending on how high you want to go. But I'm going to start with those three. And I actually have room in my little 3D print here of lap organizers for 4 more. So we'll see what I can find. So once I acquire those things, I will definitely be able to polish the rest of this pavilion up to a more mirror shine. I know 3000 grit sounds really, really high, but in a stone context, it's actually like really foggy still. It's really hard to tell if it's just the clear nature of the glass and the foggy nature of the super glue, messing it up. Another thing I would highly recommend you getting, something that I used quite a lot, but I already had, so I didn't have to go buy another one, was an optivisor or a loop or something just for looking at this really, really close, because you will probably not be able to see all that you actually need to see with just the naked eye. Anyway, that's all for this video. I will see you guys in the next one where we move on. I have lots more glass here. When I get more DOPs, I will just keep going through a whole pile of them, and we'll get these polished up to something pretty. So until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah, okay. Okay, we're done. I'm gonna go take a nap.